Hello guys, Reddish here and welcome to the second episode on the Fable Park series where I'm building my own custom mega park. Today we're gonna take a look at the first attraction I made for this park, a antique powered cars attraction with some special elements. This is the first attraction I made in Planet Coaster 2 where I really got the feel for the nature work and how the lighting mechanics work. At the end of this video there will be an Onride and I will showcase how the attraction looks at night. So if you're ready, sit back, relax and enjoy the build. Alright, here we go. Well, I'm building the entrance building for the attraction. I want to tell you how I got the idea for the attraction. When I was a child, I visited like many other kids from the Netherlands the Efteling often, and I really like the old-timer attraction there. It's called the Oude Tufferbaan. It's a simple antique cars attraction, but it definitely had its charm at the time. But when I went last time, I didn't enjoy it like before. It was a little bit boring for Efteling standards, which is weird because most of their attractions are really special and unique. But as an adult, this ride is not that special. That gave me the idea to build my own in Planet Coaster 2, just a little bit more interesting and with a little story. The story is not yet chosen. I decided to add some elements which will help you make your own story for the time being. Because this ride, just like the other rides in this themed area, are going to be related to the big dark ride, which is going to be the biggest attraction in the area. But the story for the dark ride is not yet finished, so you'll have to wait for that. I will visit this attraction in a future showcase when I've changed it to the new story, but for now it's just as it is and it's good as it is, so no worries. And right now I'm busy with the entrance building still, and I really like the shape of the building. It's a little bit blocky for my taste. I wanted to have more realism in the build. And I also want it in my other builds, but yeah, it's not that easy to get real realism if you don't have the best pieces for it. And this was built 5 months ago. It was early in the game. The ride spec was just out with the antique powered cars. So yeah, I just didn't wait. And it took a long time to get the pieces right. It isn't really as realistic as I liked it to be. So in the future, it will be more realistic and I will change it because yeah, right now still I don't have the experience to get real realism, and maybe in future updates there will be more options for realism like animations and that kind of stuff. But this is just a solid ride as it is, so I'm not worried that you're not gonna like it or something. It's just I want to make it better when I have more experience with the game. And I think that's logical, of course. But besides that, I'm really proud of this attraction, how it turned out. I also learned a lot from it, so that's really nice. And maybe your guys can learn a little bit from the time-lapse too. Right now I'm trying to make the station. The station is a really simple design. It fits with the rest of the themed area, so I really like it. It's kind of unique. It's a kind of unique shape. I just used the shapes and I just looked and I thought, yeah, well, this looks pretty good. Yeah, most of the time it's just that process. It's the process of just trying to figure out which pieces will fit the style. And I think it worked out great in the end. It's a little bit blocky like the rest of them, low resolution. I don't really like that. I'm gonna change that in the future, maybe add some details. But for now it's perfect as it is. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell for now. I will come back when I'm putting the track down. For now, enjoy the building. that didn't take too long, right guys? Let me know in the comments if you like this, if I sometimes be quiet. I can imagine you don't want to hear me all the time and just enjoy the build. And that's of course okay. So if you want quiet moments, let me know in the comments. If you don't want it and you want me to talk all the time, that's also alright, let me know. Just wanted to tell you guys about this little piece of track that I'm laying down here. When I designed the track, I had something in mind. I had in mind that it was different levels. So you would go over a terrain and the terrain was different in levels. And I also wanted the bridge because that would be very cool, I thought. And it was a little technique that I didn't know yet, so it was just trying out and it was really fun to do. But I also didn't want a lot of straight lines, only where the bridge was, of course, but the rest is all turns. And that's because as a kid I liked the turns the most, because then you could steer the wheel and bounce against the rails. I think everyone has experienced that. So I wanted to include that a lot. I think it makes the build overall far more interesting. Here I made the queue. The queue is, yeah, it's just a queue. It's a little bit short even. I find that guests get stuck here most of the time because it's just too full. Not a lot of people can go into the queue. Yeah, that's not something I like. I want to change that maybe, but for now it's okay. Maybe if the park is bigger, there will be fewer guests visiting this attraction because it's not a triple attraction, of course. So maybe it will work out in the end. I will just wait for a bit. I think this attraction is one of the attractions that I don't have to change a lot. The entrance building I want to change a little bit, and I want to change the story around it, but the nature is just on point. The lighting is just on point. I'm going to show you a nighttime Onride at the end of the video and a daytime Onride. So I will show you the difference. I think at nighttime it looks a little bit better, to be honest. So I really like that. And here in the tunnel you see the car, and the car is the first sequence item I made. And oh boy, I was struggling a bit. I figured it out in the end. I have a background as a video editor, so most of the time I'm pretty natural at it, but it was a struggle a bit how to get the timing right. And you don't have a lot of control in the movements. The movements are pretty... Yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe you have a solution for that. If so, let me know in the comments. But it seemed like the movements were really fixed, so you couldn't shorten the movement or something. And I really struggled with that. I wanted to create a jump scare. So in the end it worked out fine because there's one movement setting that's like really punchy. And I used that for this. I think it worked out well in the end. Soundtrack, there's a little bit of a sound with it. You can't hear it in this time-lapse because I turned the sound off, but the sound's a little bit like do-do-do-do-doom. And I really like that. It was perfect for this, but it was the door closing. I think it was the door closing. It's 5 months ago, but I think it was the door closing. So I really like that worked out. Sometimes you just have that little moment that everything works out and you're just very happy. And this was that kind of moment. I think we all know it with Planet Coaster 2 because it is a really good game and you have that moment a lot of times. Also the opposite, but we're not going to talk about that here. I didn't find any problems with this attraction, to be honest. I just found out that it all worked really well in this attraction. It made me confident in what I can build, and I just built better things after this. So it's, yeah, I really like it. Here I just gave some decorations, not really that special. Most of the decorations are maybe changed because in the 5 months I've transferred it to another park. Some things didn't fit well, so I had to change it a little bit. So maybe the Onride's a little bit different from what you see here, but the essence is the same, so no worries. So yeah, that's kind of it for the tunnel. I think I need to do the lighting, of course, because it's really dark in there, and that's where I started to do something with the lighting. And yeah, I just couldn't stop. This whole attraction was just me, yeah, just trying the lighting and just be amazed with it. I'm a video photographer in daily life, so lighting is something I'm really passionate about, and this game just, yeah, it's perfect. It's just perfect. I never found a game where I have so much control on how things look with lighting. And I think for dark rides, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty mind-blowing what you can do with it. And maybe specialize in that a little bit, because I know how lighting works, and that's really nice to use. And maybe I can help others with that as well. So maybe my builds will be an inspiration for that. But for now, it's just a really nice attraction with really nice lighting. You will see that in the end. I really like this part. I like the nature. The nature is amazing. I liked it in Planet Zoo. I even liked it in Planet Coaster 1. Well, it was, yeah, not really that great. But yeah, with the scaling, with everything, the different kind of nature pieces, you can just make endless combinations with them. It looks really good very fast. And if you just do it with sidelines, with how you enter the attraction, then you can just imagine where you want the shadows, and you can put a tree there, and then you have a little bush here. It's a little bit empty here. It doesn't look really realistic here. Just play some nature and it's fixed. It's that simple, and I really like that. It was a really fun part for me. Everything came together really quickly. Yeah, well, this beginning is already, I think, yeah, it's the finished product already. So it went really quickly. It was like, I think, 15 seconds to maybe 20 seconds in the time lapse, but yeah, it was amazing. I really liked it. But the track is laid out, the nature is coming together nicely. It's only smooth sailing from here. So I'll be quiet for a minute so you can enjoy the time lapse. While I'm working on the terrain, I wanted to tell you about a problem I had. There was a problem with the terrain that when I wanted to make a blueprint out of the attraction, the terrain didn't go with it. And I know right now, 5 months later, that it doesn't work like that. I don't know how it works, so maybe if you know, please let me know in the comments. But I don't know why it didn't work. I just know it doesn't work, and it was really frustrating that I had to do the terrain all over again. That's why maybe on the Onride the attraction looks a little bit different, because some things has been changed. In essence, it's the same, so the waterfall still in the same place, and the tracks are almost the same. Well, the track is of course the same, but how I made the terrain around the track is maybe a little bit different. So yeah, maybe if you spot those small differences, don't worry about it. It was just a little fault of mine because I was still beginner at Planet Coaster 2. But yeah, it's really frustrating that you can load in the terrain, because I work a lot with terrain because I like the combination terrain and rocks the best, not only rocks. But yeah, I have to do that rocks because otherwise I can't put it in a blueprint. Otherwise it should be a park blueprint. And I don't know if I can put a park blueprint inside a park. I don't think so. Maybe you guys know. So yeah, some things may be different, but it's just as it is. And if you like this video till this point, please leave a like and subscribe. It would be very amazing of you. I'm a small channel, so every like and every subscribe is really impactful for me. So it would be amazing if you do that. Well, here you can see a little bit of the story I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. These 3 stones are a little reference to what's coming later in the attraction. There's 3 alive stones there, and there was a little story that you could imagine around it, that they were frozen in time and that they were overgrown at the beginning of the attraction, that if you go in the attraction for a second time, that you would notice that kind of stuff. And the story is really boring right now, and it's gonna completely change to the dark ride, which I explained in the intro, but also in the previous video I explained it a lot better. So if you want to see that, please check out the previous video. But for now, it's just a little story, and I wanted to keep that teasing element, that you can see something in the ride that will happen later, and that if you revisit it again, that you will only notice it then. I just like that kind of stuff. Most theme parks do something with that kind of attraction. So I really like that idea. And I'm gonna, when I have the story for the dark ride ready, I'm gonna chase this to that story And I will keep that element in there because I like the concept a lot. So yeah, that's mostly it. And here you can see the little grove, and that's why I called it Stone Grove. You see a little grove here with a little windmill in it. This is also the thumbnail, I think. I didn't make the thumbnail yet, but I like this part and it's the most scenic, I think. But it's a really scenic little area. You are completely surrounded by nature, a little bit by cars, which I also like on different levels. And yeah, you see a little scene. Maybe you can imagine someone living there in a grove in the middle of the forest with some maybe magical powers, you don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of story elements in there where you can make your own story. And I really like that about this attraction. And it makes the attraction feel alive, even without using too complicated animatronics. The windmill itself is really simple. You guys know those pieces. But the only real animatronic, well, the real animatronic, the one animatronic which I like, the one in the cave with the card, that's the only animatronic I made custom. So yeah, it's nice that we have some moving elements with some easy pieces. And it feels efficient to build. It didn't take too long. It all came very naturally. Well, here we're gonna go to the finishing part. We're almost already done and it went really quickly. I think the whole build took me like maybe 5 hours, which is, in comparison to my other builds, very little time. I think on the whole themed area I spent around 20 hours. So it's one of the most detailed and biggest portions of the themed area by now, because the dark ride is of course going to be a lot bigger and a lot more time intensive. But this didn't take a long time for how much it filled in and how much worth I'm getting out of it, because I love it. I love the attraction. It's still the best attraction I ever made, even in Planet Coaster 1 with the Planet Coaster 1 stuff I made. So yeah, it's amazing. And it was the first time that I really saw how the mechanics of the Planet Coaster 2 track rides worked. Yeah, that's most of the stuff I can tell you about the attraction, I think. What I thought was amazing about this part is the little ridge on the hillside where you can see the cars on top. And that's also fun about this attraction. You can see the cars constantly above you, under you, etc. They are everywhere, and I really love that. It's not too many cars, so you have your individual part. So if you go in the cave, there will not be another car that's going out. It's all immersive and on your own, but you can see the cars and you're not fully on your own. I think that's fun. But yeah, I think I told everything I wanted to tell you guys. So for now, I will just finish the time lapse. You can just enjoy the little music and the time lapse. And then I'm coming back for the Onride and a little showcase. Be right back.
Helllooo! Poop el perdo or repet.
Alright, so that was the ride. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you had a lot of fun watching the time lapse. Keep in mind the attraction will be updated in the future. When the whole area is finished, I will do a new showcase, and there you will see the changes. But I'm really interested in what you guys think of the attraction, so let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe on my channel for more of Fable Park. Until the next episode, I'm saying goodbye.